Welcome to my tutorial for Pan Am, which is a light economic worker placement game for 2 to 4 players. In Pan Am, you'll take the role of a small airline that will eventually be bought out by Pan Am. At the end of 7 rounds, whoever has the most stock in Pan Am will be declared the winner. If there's a tie for that amount, the tiebreaker is whoever has the most money, and beyond that is a shared victory. In Pan Am, the 7 rounds are denoted by 7 different events. So each one of these rounds, there are 4 different event cards for it. You're going to shuffle the cards, put the round 7 on the bottom. You're going to put round 6 on top of it, round 5 on top of it, all the way till you have round 1 on top. And that will form your event deck, and that's how you know when the 7 rounds are up, because at the beginning of each round you flip over one of those cards. So after you flip over the last card, you know that is the last round. Now I have this scripted to actually form that deck and deal out the starting stuff, so let me do that here. It's going to form that event deck. It's going to put out the 4 initial destinations. It's going to deal all the players 2 destinations that are face up in front of them, and you're going to have 1 event card in your hand which is secret from everyone else. These cards, which are directives, which is actually an action you can take, are one-time use. So once you use it, you get rid of it. The bottom of the card tells you when you can use it, so this can be used during the resolution phase of the routes action, and the top of the card tells you what that actually is. This says when resolving your engineer, claim a free route with a distance of 1. I'll get into what routes are and what all that means. Just suffice it to say, this is when you can do it, and this is what you do. After you do it, you throw the card in the trash. It's no longer your card. But here, I'll take that back in my hand for now. Alright, so everyone starts with $12, 3 planes, which are 2 level 1 tri-motors and a level 2 clipper. You can see the different planes over here. You have tri-motors, clippers, cruisers, and jets. You do not get access to cruisers and jets until later rounds. Once that round comes up, it opens up a new action space on the board. Let's get into what these actions are. So for actions A, B, and C, there's sort of a bidding structure with it. I could take this airport action here, which will cost me $3 when it comes time to resolve that. Someone else can come along and put their worker on a higher amount, and they'll have to pay that higher amount if they end up ending with that action. This worker would be returned to my pool. I don't lose it. I get to place it again. I could even place it on a higher amount. I could even just place it on 9 from the get-go and say I'm going to pay $9 for that action. Nobody can outbid me because you can't outbid the highest number. Now what airports do, I should get into that, is everyone has 5 airports. And there, you can just put them on any city that doesn't have an airport on it already. So say I put an airport on New York if I take that action. Once you place an airport, you immediately increase your income by 1. So that means at the end, when we get to the income phase, I'll get $1. But more importantly, it gives me landing rights in that city. Landing rights are used for claiming routes. If you want to claim a route, you need landing rights in both of the cities that connect that route. So if I wanted to go from New York to Gander, I would need landing rights in both New York and Gander. I would also need a plane in my fleet that's available to me of the route's distance or greater. In this case, it would be a 1. I have 2 clippers, so if I was able to claim that route, and I could put my plane there. I'll get to routes when we get to that action. Just know airports, you got 5 of them. They give you landing rights in whatever city you place them in, and you get 1 income once you place it. Now, if you're able to put all 5 airports out and you want to put a sixth airport out, that means you're using 6 actions in 7 rounds for airports. It's not going to happen. But if you want to do it, after you put the 5th airport out, you can then move one of your existing airports to another city that doesn't have an airport, but you do not get the 1 income for that. Like I said, it's not going to happen. All right, destinations is the next action. There are actually 4 spots for that action, so 4 people can end up taking it, unlike airports where only 1 person can take that action. So you can just simply place your worker on the destination that you want. Someone can outbid you. This is the bidding track, at the end of the round. Once all the workers are placed, there will be 1 person on each one of these tracks. And you simply, like if I were to get Hong Kong would then go into my destinations. Now, destinations are the other way you can get landing rights. If you have that city that you need landing rights, so say I need landing rights in San Francisco. So here, say I put this airport in Mexico City, right? I have San Francisco in my hand. Well, not in my hand, in front of me. That's permanent. I have landing rights there because I have it. So when I claim that route, I can get it. You can get temporary landing rights in a city, which are one-time uses, and they cause you to discard the cards from in front of you. So say I didn't have San Francisco in front of me, but I had another one of these Blue Eagle locations, like New York. Say I had New York. I could actually, if this were in front of me, I could discard it, just trash it. Oops. Why is it not trashing? Trash. Thank you. I could discard it, and now I have temporary landing rights in that city. So when I claim that route, I have the landing rights. The other way you can do it, say I had these 2 in my hand, I could trash 2 of the same region that is a different region from the one I want. Obviously, if you can only trash 1 from the region you want, you wouldn't choose to do 2. So I could trash these 2 to get those temporary landing rights for claiming the route. Now, there are 5 different regions, and they have their own symbol. You have the South American, kind of looks like a sun. You have the North American, kind of looks like an eagle. You have your European, which is like a column. You have your Asian, which is a tiger. And you have your Pacific, which is a palm tree. So those are the 5 different regions you can have. Now, at the end of this phase, if all of these were not taken, then they each get a coin added to them, which is $1. And if someone takes it in a subsequent round, they can add that money to their pool. And that'll accumulate. Say this one sits for 2 rounds, it'll get a second dollar put on it, and then whoever takes it will get the second dollar. So at the end of the round, it will refill. Boom. See, and then it puts the extra dollars out on the ones that weren't taken, and the extra space gets filled. Which brings us to action C, which is planes. You can put your worker, on here, and that means you can get a tri-motor if you end there. Obviously, other people can outbid you. So whoever has the highest bid on this track after all the workers are placed, they get that action. They can just simply take one of their tri-motors and add it to their fleet. Same thing for clippers. It's a little more expensive. And once the cruiser's open in round 3, it becomes another space you can put your worker on. And jets in round 6. Now, these planes are limited. Everyone starts with 2 level 1s and a level 2. You have access to 3 more level 1s, 3 more level 2s, 3 total level 3s, and you only have 1 jet. So you can only ever take this action once. You could take it twice to deny someone else getting a jet, but that's a pretty expensive proposition. I wouldn't recommend it, but it is legal. These other two actions, routes and directives, they do not have a bidding track. They just simply have a limited number of spaces. When you place your workers on these spaces, you put it in the leftmost open spot, and when it comes time to resolve them, they resolve from left to right. The directives simply allow you to draw a directive card to your hand, which gives you an extra little bonus, right? That you can use. They're one-time uses. And then you have your priority access spots. So at the beginning of a round, these three spots, their workers aren't removed. They actually get placed from left to right on the board in any of the four other actions. You can't place them on the directives if you're in priority access. After they're placed, then whoever the first player is can start placing their workers on the board, and it goes clockwise. So that's directives and a little special function of those priority access spots. Routes are also resolved from left to right. So whoever's in this leftmost spot will claim their route before the person in the second spot, who gets to claim their route, and then the third one. I think I've pretty much covered routes except for a couple points. So routes, you need landing rights in both cities. You need a plane to put on that route. So in this case, if I were to claim the route, I would take my level 2 plane and put it on that route. That is now mine. That route is going to earn me 2 income because it's a level 2 route. If it was a level 3 route, it would earn me 3 income. Level 1 gets you 1 income. You get the level of the route in income. Now say didn't have a level 2 plane and I only had a level 3 plane. Well, I could put the level 3 plane there. It has to be equal or greater than, but you only ever increase your income by the route length, even if you have a higher value plane. So that's routes and directives I've gone over. So if you look at the phases here, I skipped the event phase, which is actually the first thing that you do, and I'll go over that in a moment. But the engineers, we did the priority access, which are those 3 spots, and then the normal assignment. After you place those workers, then you resolve all of those in letter order. So we would resolve the airports. Whoever put their worker here, whoever was the highest bidder, they pay that money, they place their airport, they get their income, they add the 1 to their income. Then we go to B. Whoever put their worker on these 4 spots, they pay any money if they have to. They take the destination into their zone, and then these things refill. Then you go to planes, starting at 1, working your way up. Whoever has this one pays their money, gets their plane. This one pays their money, gets their plane, so forth. Then you go to routes. Everyone claims their routes. Then you go to directives. Everyone gets their cards. Then all those engineers return to your to your pool, except for these 3. They'll stay there. Let's go over the event that I skipped over. This is the first thing that happens. So you're going to flip this over. You're going to look at 3 things here. First is the event itself. Each player draws a destination card from the deck. It's as simple as it sounds. You take one of these destinations, you put it in front of you. The other 2 things you need to look for are the stock price. So this is the stock is set at 5. You'd adjust this track down here. And how many times Pan Am is going to expand. In this case, it's 1. There will be other symbols, like, not that one. Here we go. This one, the stock price will go up 1. It's always 1. It'll only go up or down 1 if you'll either get it going up or going down. And this, it will roll the die twice, so it'll expand twice. Now what we mean about Pan Am expanding, this is the best way to make money in the game. So they're always going to expand from Miami. This is their starting location. And there are 3 paths that it will expand upon. It'll expand upon the European path, which is this checkered line. It'll expand along the South American path, which is this dotted line, and it'll expand along the Asian Pacific path, which is this triangle line. They have a special die over here that will roll, so they're going to roll it once when they expand, right? So we roll the die, and, well, we'll get to that one in a moment. Alright, so here it's going to expand once upon the dotted line and once upon, well, the South American path and the European path. So what they're going to do is they're going to just claim that route. Here's the European path. It's going to claim the New York to Miami route and the South American path from Miami to San Juan. Now, had someone had already claimed that route, they'll get their plane back, so you'll take your plane and you'll return it to your fleet. You will reduce your income by the amount of the route because you're no longer making that money. So you would reduce your income by 1 in that case. But you will get a one-time bonus over here, a Route 1 of $5. If it was a Route 3, a length 3 route, like, there's not one on, here we go, from Tokyo to Nome, which they can't really expand upon, but I won't bother with that, you would get $12. Now that symbol that I showed you first here, if it comes up this Pan Am symbol, that means every player, starting with the first player, can sell any one of their routes anywhere on the map to Pan Am. So if you had Tokyo to San Francisco, which Pan Am would never be able to expand upon because it doesn't have the diamond or the dots or the squares, they would cover it up. No one would ever be able to get that route again, but you would get $14 for it, and you would get your plane back. So yeah, selling routes to Pan Am is the best way to make money in this game. So that's the expansion phase of Pan Am. They're going to roll that dice. If they rolled it twice, after they expanded once, you repeat the process. Now they're going to expand upon the European route and the Asian Pacific route. Oops, which would be this one first. Sorry. Alright, always expanding from Miami. So even say someone had sold this route to Pan Am and they expanded along the Asian Pacific route, they wouldn't expand from this. They would always expand from Miami. So they would cover this one. And then if they were to expand on that, they would cover up this one. So let's look at the phases down here. I showed you the event, your reveal, and the stock price. Pan Am expansion. So after they do that, you collect your income. Whatever your income shows here, you're going to increase your money by that. And then you have a chance to buy stock at the going rate. The going rate in this case would be 5. So maybe I buy 2 stocks. Leave me $5 for bidding, in the round. So I'll just take the 2 stocks. I have 2 stocks. And that's, remember, is the win condition at the end of the game, whoever has the most stock in Pan Am. Now, there is one more thing. When it comes time to resolving these actions, if you do not have enough money to cover that action, so say I took this airport route, I spent my $3, placed my airport, which left me with $2, right? And then I had outbid someone for Mexico City, and I had put a worker on $4. Well, I only have $2, so I pay my 2. And now I have to come up with $2 more. And that means I have to sell my stock that I have at a rate of 2 less than the current. So I would sell this stock for $3 because it's worth 5. And I would get my $3 and then I would pay that 2. Now say I didn't have enough stock to cover the debt that I owe. Well, I have to pay what I can. So I would lose all of my stock. I would put my money at 0, and I would not get the benefit of the action that I couldn't pay for. So it's not very good to not be able to afford. Make sure you can pay for them. That's Pan Am. I think I covered everything here. We went over the events after the 7th round, after that last one gets flipped over. Whoever has you do the round in order, and then whoever has the most stock is the winner. I hope you enjoy it. It is a very solid worker placement game. It's on the lighter level. It's not like Agricola or something like that. It's more on the level like Lords of Waterdeep. And thanks for watching.